Meeting the order of the Champaign County Board. It's Thursday, April 19th, 2012. The time is 7:01. Please turn off your cell phones or put them on silent. Roll call, please.
Quisenberry. Richards.
Here.
Rosales. Schrader. Alex. Ammons. Here. Anderson. That's okay. Benzel.
Here.
Bergson.
Here.
Betts.
Here.
Carter.
Here.
Cowart. Esri.
Here.
Holderfield.
Here.
James.
Here.
Jay.
Here.
Kibler.
Here.
Kurtz.
Here.
Langenheim.
Here.
Maxwell.
Here.
McGinty.
Here.
Michaels. Here. Mitchell. Mosier. O'Connor. Petrie. Here. Weibel.
Here, we have a quorum. Mr. Alex, Mr. Quisenberry, and Mr. Schrader informed me earlier they would not be able to make the meeting. Tonight's prayer. With every breath I take today, I vow to be awake, and every step I take, I vow to take with a grateful heart. So I may see with eyes of love into the hearts of all I meet, to ease their burden when I can, and touch them with a smile of peace. Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would the clerk please note that Mr. Rosales has joined us? Would the clerk read the notice of the meeting, please?
Notice is hereby given that a regular meeting of the County Board of Champaign County, Illinois will convene on April 19th, 2012, 7 p.m. in the Lyle Schultz Meeting Room, Perkins Administrative Center, 1776 East Washington Street, Urbana, Illinois, in said county for the purpose of allowing and ordering payments of claims against the county, receiving and acting upon reports of committees and such other matters as may be brought before said meeting, which said meeting shall continue in session from day to day until the completion of said business.
Move adoption.
Moved by Mr. Betts, second by Mr. Langenheim. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Seek approval of the agenda and the addendum.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. James, second by Mr. Rosales. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Date and time of our next regular meetings are Tuesday, May 8th, is the first committee of the whole for facilities, highway and transportation, environment and land use. The second is on Tuesday, May 15th, for committee of the whole for finance, policy, personnel and appointments, and justice and social services. Please note that both of them meet at 6 p.m. in this room. And finally, the regular county board meetings on Thursday, May 24th at 7 p.m. Consent agenda. Are there any items you wish to take off the consent agenda?
Move adoption of consent.
Moved by Mr. Betts, second by Mr. Esri. Roll call, please.
Richards.
Yes.
Rosales.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Benzel.
Yes.
Bergson.
Yes.
Betts.
Yes.
Carter.
Yes.
Cowart. Esri.
Yes.
Holderfield.
Yes.
James.
Yes.
Jay.
Yes.
Kibler.
Yes.
Kurtz. Langenheim. Maxwell.
Yes.
McGinty.
Yes.
Michaels. Yes. Petrie.
Yes.
Weibel.
Yes, motion carries. Public participation. So far, we have one person who wishes to speak. Brian, you have the floor. You want to give it to us?
Good evening. My name is Brian Dolliner. I live at 303 West Locust in Urbana. I was just leaving a copy of a recent newspaper article about the LA County Jail in my former hometown, Los Angeles. And I wanted to bring the story of what's been going on in LA County to the attention of the county board here. I think it was a special interest to the county. Although larger in scale, LA County is facing some of the same decisions we are here in Champaign County. A year ago in Los Angeles, the county sheriff, Lee Baca, and LA County authorities were backing a construction proposal to build 2 new jails and refurbish another in Los Angeles. The LA County Jail is the biggest in the country, housing some 22,000 inmates. The price tag on the new jail was to be approximately $1.4 billion. The motivation for building the new jail was largely because of the much older facility called the LA Central Jail. It was in a horrible state of disrepair. It was built in 1963 and typically held between 3,000 and 5,000 people of the whole jail population. However, when the plan to launch the project was announced, a number of citizens groups opposed to spending such a large sum of money on the jail stepped up and started a public conversation. Instead, they recommended looking at alternatives. In the end, a group of consultants was hired to map out an alternative to spending the proposed $1.4 billion. They came up with a plan that included a restructuring of their risk assessment system for letting more pre-trial people out on electronic monitoring devices. They also involved a change in their security classification system and finding alternative sentencing mechanisms which did not involve incarceration. So what they did essentially was to let a lot of the nonviolent offenders or people on bonds facing pre-trial, let those folks out. Some of them electronic monitoring, others were just set free. By doing this, the county could reduce the population enough to close down the horrible central jail without any need to build new facilities, saving the taxpayers this proposed $1.4 billion. We think that Champaign County can learn much from this experience. The board is proposing closing a facility that is 17 years newer than the LA County Jail, a facility that needs maintenance but not immediate closure. We are convinced that if the board and Sheriff Walsh investigate alternatives with the same seriousness of Sheriff Baca, who is, if you look at Sheriff Baca's record, he's by no means a liberal. You can find ways to improve the conditions in the downtown jail, reduce the number of people incarcerated in our county, particularly African Americans, and achieve equity between women and men in terms of conditions in our jail, all without spending the proposed $20 million on new jail construction. We encourage the board to study the case of LA County very carefully before taking an irresponsible step of spending so much taxpayer money. $1.4 billion may sound like a lot of money, but on a per capita basis, it's about $140 for every resident of LA County. At present, our $20 million proposal at face value would mean about $100 per capita for Champaign County. So let's stop and reflect. Across the country, the trend nationwide, like in Los Angeles, is to decarcerate. That is, lower the number of people behind bars and reduce spending on prisons and jails. If we look at what's happening and choose to decarcerate rather than to spend money on an unnecessary jail, I think we'll find that our county has much more pressing needs. Thank you.
Is there any other public participation? Okay, we'll close that and go on to communications. Any communications? Ms. Petrie.
Thank you very much. Again, I would like to announce generally and to the viewing public that the Local Food Policy Council applications to be chosen to serve on that council are due on the 27th of April, and the appointment to the council is scheduled for the 24 May County Board meeting. Thank you very much. Oh, by the way, those application can be found on the County Board website.
Mr. Richards?
Wanted to make sure everybody knew that the Community Justice Task Force is going to be meeting in this room on Tuesday, May the 1st at 7 p.m. And that's going to be before we have another meeting, so I wanted to let everybody know tonight. Look for that on your calendar, and if you're interested, come over.
And that also will be on the county calendar too, so you can check out on our website. Ms. Holderfield.
I would just like to make everyone aware that Mahomet Township, one of our Board of Trustees, Chris Craig, passed away, had a funeral service. Chris was 34 years old, the father of 3 children, and his wife Amy has survived. So that was a very difficult loss for us in Mahomet. Again, he was a trustee for Mahomet Township.
Thank you. Any other communications? Okay, Seek approval of the minutes for the March 22nd, 2012 meeting. Move by Mr. Langenheim, second by Mr. Kurtz. Discussion on. Well, we'll get to that. Discussion on the discussion on the minutes. Mr. Langenheim, microphone, please. Microphone. Yes.
Well, since I forgot to wear my hearing aids, I'm not hearing anything, so I don't feel that you really need to have anything either. We can use sign language. Okay.
What page you on?
Page 4, bottom of the page, Veterans Assistance Commission, VAC Committee. Third line, recognition of number 8076 in recognition of the establishment, etc. Strike in recognition of recognizing. Because we recognize the existence of the VAC.
Oh, you're saying in recognition should be recognized.
Just
It's grammatic, actually.
resolution number 8076, recognizing
The establishment.
the establishment of the Champaign.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a grammatical change.
Are you happy with that, Deb?
Okay. Anything else, Ralph?
What?
Anything else?
No, that's all. I've already taken the typos to the lady
Okay.
directly without
All right.
bothering you.
Any other corrections? Okay, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to highway and transport. Ms. Court, transportation.
Highway and Transportation has 3 items for board consideration. The first one is adoption of resolution number 8085 for award of contract for the replacement of a bridge located in Crendon Road District, section number 10-08968-00. That's a move.
Second on Mr. Carter. Discussion. See none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries.
The next item is adoption of resolution 8086 for award of contract for the repair of a structure number 010-4271 located on County Highway 2022, section number 12-00982-00-BR, and that's a move.
Second.
Second on Mr. J. That is County Highway 22, correct? As it's
Yes.
printed? Okay. Discussion. See none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Next is adoption of resolution number 8087 for the award of contract for the furnish and spread on the road of bituminous material for 2012 maintenance of various road districts in Champaign County, and that's so moved.
Second by Langenheim.
I'd like to-
Discussion. Mr. Langenheim,
Yes.
go ahead.
May I go ahead?
Yes.
Thank you. I'd like to move a little grammatical correction there. For award of a contract for furnishing, and what's furnish? What's
For the
furnish?
furnish.
Provide.
Provide and spread.
Well, that's pretty badly garbled, but just
So you okay, so you have nothing to say. Back to the main motion. I think they know, Miss Berkson. Microphone, please.
I agree with Ralph. It isn't for the furnishing, for the spread. I mean, that's not English.
Well, can you
For the
reckon
furnishing and spreading.
furnishing, and you want to say for the furnishing and/or spreading on the road?
Yes.
We have a motion to amend, that's a motion to amend, Astrid?
Yes.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Kurtz. Discussion on adding INGs. Any discussion? Go ahead.
Well, I
Ezra.
just would point out that item 3 on the page 13, it says furnished and mixed, it's not spread.
Well, it says furnished and spread on, where?
Item 3.
Item 3? Well, it might be different. So it's,
Okay, it said
It's not spread, it's not spread.
Just piled.
pardon? I'm not going to touch that. Okay, the motion to, the discussion of motion to amend. Is there any discussion on the motion to amend, adding the INGs? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We now go back to the main motion, which has been slightly amended. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Highway and transportation.
Thank you, Ms. Keller. Environment Land Use, Mr. Kurtz.
Thank you. I move to approve the R&E license for the U of I Rodeo Club at the Champaign County Fairgrounds at 1302 North Kohler Avenue, Urbana, for April 28th and 29th of 2012.
Take the second by Ms. Michaels. Discussion. Mr. Kurtz.
Thank you. This R&D license was deferred from the Committee of the Whole meeting, and a new application was received. The sheriff has signed off on the new license application, and the license is ready for approval.
Any further discussion? See none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Kurtz. Finance, Mr. McGinty.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I recommend adoption of resolution number 8090, approving an amendment to the Aramark Inmate Commissary Services Agreement, and I so move.
Second.
Second by Mr. James. There's a copy of this, well, this amendment, sorry, this is updated or?
What was changed? Is it?
Right, there's an amendment that apparently made it to cow is what you have in your hands here. It's not part of the package. Discussion. Ms. Covert.
Okay, I want to add an amendment to this amended agreement. And that is under one, condition number 3, I'd like to add to that purchases online to inmates will not be charged shipping and handling.
You want to add this to, at the end of number of 1-3? Yes. And what's the statement?
Purchases online to inmates will not be charged shipping and handling.
Will not be charged, what's, I'm sorry, the last part?
Shipping.
Oh, shipping. Shipping and handling.
Second.
Second by Ms. Bergson. Discussion on the amendment. Mr. Benzel.
Hello. That's a nose away. Well, I guess my question to Ms. Cower would be, who pays for that then? Is Aramark going to pay for that, or is the county going to pay for that?
It's already.
Somebody have a question for that, Ms. Bergson? If you have an answer to that, go ahead and speak to the microphone.
The whole idea of going from 40 to 30 is because all these supplies will be at the jail. So there is no shipping.
But these are special order items.
Right.
Yeah. These are something that if you wanted to send something to someone in the jail and you've seen it online, you could order it online and have it sent over specifically.
Yeah, but it is already at the jail. All they have to do is send that over to the Aramark person at the jail. The supplies are there.
Then that doesn't make it special order.
Yes, it does, because that's the only way the families can get things for the inmates. They can't go to the store, whatever, and get them. They have to order them online. But if they're already there in the jail and there's somebody delivering them, you know, when they come in, they could perfectly well take the online orders there for the extra 10%. There is no shipping.
Is there, we obviously have two opinions there. Is there a third opinion on this? Because I wasn't at the Kyle meeting, so I can't. Ms. Holderfield.
Well, I guess I just want clarification because I understood in an email that those special orders are shipped from Aramark to the jail. This isn't something that's already in stock. If it's in stock, you don't have to special order it. So there will be costs for shipping and handling. And I just don't feel that the county should be picking up shipping and handling. So, you know, if a family member is going to order something special order and it has to actually be shipped, then somebody has to pick up those fees.
Go ahead, Mr. Benzel.
Well, I would agree with that. I emailed with the sheriff this week back and forth a few times on this to clarify this issue, and was told specifically by him that these are special order where there are additional charges for the shipping and handling. So I mean, I guess I'm at a point now where if there truly is no additional shipping cost because it's going to wait and be sent over when the rest of the Aramark shipment comes in, then I probably could agree with that, but I don't think that we know enough to make that decision right now. I can't support this.
Let's go Ms. Anderson first.
Well, I haven't talked to the sheriff, but I got the impression at the cow meeting that, yes, if they had it on site, there would be products there, but there may be other there's a selective products. And if they're not there, then they can order them online from some other place. Now, I don't know that for sure, but that was the impression I got. Have you talked to the sheriff about this? I mean,
wait a minute, Brixton. But talking to the microphone.
Well, I got the impression that what was ordered online were supplies that were not at the jail, that they're not going to keep everything that Aramark produces or has. There is a selection of what they have at the jail. And then if there are other things that they want that are online that they would order, but then they would have to pay the shipping. Now,
you're talking.
Go ahead, Ms. Brixton. Talk to me, though.
That would be the case if the inmate were making a special order of something that they don't have at the jail. We're talking about the families ordering things that are in the store at the jail. They do have them there. But because the families can't go to the store and order them, therefore they are charged shipping and handling, even though the stuff is at the jail.
Mr. Kurtz?
Well, maybe we should amend it to, there should be no shipping and handling to any orders online that are already stocked at the jail, and shipping and handling for those items that are not. Would that, would that satisfy us?
Yes.
Well, you're going to make the amendment,
I'll
Mr.
make
Kurtz.
that amendment. If
So
Ms. Cow-
the amendment is that you would change it to purchase online will not be charged for shipping and handling if those products are already at the jail.
Yes, correct. If the items that are being ordered online are at the jail, there should be no shipping and handling. But if those special items are not at the jail, then shipping and handling should be included.
Does that make sense? Okay, is there a second? Second by Jeff. Is discussion on the amendment to the amendment. Ms. Holyfield.
Thank you. I guess I just want to make sure that we completely understand and that we have clarification if we're going to make an amendment, that we know that there's no additional cost to anything that will be incurred by the county. I'm perfectly fine with that, but I would really like to make sure that no cost will be in addition charged to anyone. I mean, how do you pay for it if there is actually, is there a fee? We have to understand, is there or is it not? And if it's, if we need clarification, which is not what I'm just totally not understanding, are they being charged? I've never heard that they were charged a shipping and handling fee for something that is already at the site. If it's not at the site and they're charged a shipping and handling fee, I completely understand the concern. But if it's something, and we don't have clarification on that, do we? If it's something that shipped, Deb, do you know? Do you have an answer for that, please?
From the communication I saw from the sheriff on this week, I believed shipping and handling was only being charged on special orders where it was required for separate shipment to take place. That's how I understood it. And I would also just point out, this is a contract, so if you make this amendment to the contract tonight, there's no guarantee that Aramark will accept it. If Aramark does not accept it, then the contract will just go back to the terms that it has today. The sheriff will not store the supplies on site, as he thought would be more beneficial for the inmates, and the commission will stay at 40% because that's what the contract is right now.
Ms. Kohler.
Most of the items that they have are part of what the inmates can buy out of their commissary. The only thing about it, instead of going in there and buying 2 or 3 bags of potato chips or candy bars, is they get a package. And it's the same item that's out there at, that they sell at the counter.
Yeah, go ahead.
if that's true, the thing is the contract as it is currently doesn't acknowledge us keeping things on site. So we don't know for sure that if it is a special order, if it's an internet order for something that is now on site, that there would be a shipping and handling charge, right? We don't know that for sure. Because we haven't amended.
It wouldn't be a shipping and handling.
I understand, but the thing is, now that we haven't had things on site before, now under this change, we will have them on site. It's quite probable that there will not be a shipping and handling charge for those internet orders if we now have it on site. And that's something that we could get clarification on for you without having to, I mean, we could also write it into the contract the way you have it. And in concept, it should be acceptable. But based on, I'm just saying that people have been charged that previously because we were not storing things on site.
But now we're talking about storing stuff on site. This is not perishable stuff that you buy online. It's the same thing that they buy at the commissary. And $6 to $7 for shipping and handling. That's the reason I wanted it in there.
Ms. Michaels.
I can understand where everybody's kind of coming from if it's already on site, not having a fee, but generally when you order anything online, no matter who you are or where you're going, you generally have some kind of shipping handling tax or something to it. And so I think that a lot of times, and we've had some family things where we've basically gone and just brought money over to the county for someone, and they bought what they needed and whatnot. So whenever you're out of town or out of state, you're kind of used to having some kind of fee for having somebody handle that transaction. So if it's not too exorbitant, I don't see a problem with the small fee.
Mr. Curtis.
Deb, is there an urgency on this agreement? Do we have to have it tonight? Because if we can get clarification that they will not charge shipping and handling for on-site items and the other, then I think the agreement is okay, and I would withdraw my amendment. But are we under the gun tonight to have to approve this? And you said you want to get clarification, but if we approve it tonight and the clarification isn't what we want it to be, and they will charge, then we're not going to be able to go back and change the contract.
Right. It will just be a continuation of, not making the changes that the sheriff thought were beneficial to the population being served. And as Ms. Michaels said, even if there wasn't shipping, there's likely that there may still be a convenience handling fee for online orders as opposed to coming, because they're processed by Aramark, as opposed to coming in.
We would need a clarification on that so that we...
Well, if you need to know.
So you're saying we can't bring this back next month, or it just needed to continue for another month as is?
I guess that's up to the sheriff.
I mean, whether the sheriff wants to bring it back or not?
I mean, he can bring this back with the additional clarification.
Mr. McGinty.
Well, in the light of the discussion, I would, if the contract can continue for another month, then I'd like to move to defer so that we can get clarification per this discussion, which should be pretty clear we're looking for. And everybody stated it clearly enough, I think, to try to get clarification within that contract. So I move to defer.
Motion to defer.
I would second.
Second by Mr. Kurtz. I don't know if we should call the sheriff, ask him if it's okay with him before the consequences.
I'm not going to call him while he's in the middle of that event. I can if you want me to.
Wendy, can I
Go ahead, Mr. Betts.
My question is, since there's 3 motions on the floor, in terms of the motion to defer, are you deferring all 3
I'm
motions?
sorry, I'm deferring everything until we get clarification.
I'll point out that's the ranking motion. You can do that.
I just want to
defer to the next county board meeting?
Yep.
To next county board meeting.
Defer to the next county board meeting, correct? And that means that the, would it come?
Finance cow?
Finance cow. Okay. And also, we would, the motion would be on the floor, actually, be the amendment to the amendment, where we start out from. Okay, discussion on the deferral motion. Ms. Petrie.
Just a clarification on the procedure with this deferral. I have a clarification question which I could not get answered from the sheriff, and it has to do with why we're losing 10% when the sheriff's staff is providing a staff person for that.
That's something you can bring up when...
I can then. Okay,
Actually,
that's all I want to know.
The sheriff answered that at the finance cow, because it is less convenient for Aramark to have this, to provide the product on site for us. So it increases their overhead cost. To have us have that product, they have to ship it to us. It's, otherwise everything is warehoused in one place for them, and they just deal with orders as they happen. They have to like set up a second or subsidiary store for Champaign County when we store it on site. But the sheriff was willing to ask for that because he thinks it is better and more convenient for the people in custody who are taking advantage of the commissary, because it's there immediately and available.
Okay.
Kibler.
Before we defer, I would like to see if of the three amendments, I guess the first piece of paper being Amendment 1, Amendment 2 being Ms. Cowart's amendment, I would like to see if that second amendment would even pass before we defer.
Motion's out of order. Can't do that, sorry. Mr. Carter.
Well, why in the world that you got to order them? Why they ordering online anyway? Why you ordering them online?
I suppose because it's convenient.
For the person from their home.
Well, that's people from home can order it for inmates.
Well, where is this company located?
Aramark? I'm not sure where they're located from. I think they're a national company. I'm not sure, probably local offices.
This just seems like one guinea. That's all it is. Nothing that you order online, I bet you can get it ready in Champaign, man.
That's quite possible. Ms. Holyfield.
I do have an email if you would like for me to read it that came from Dan Walsh.
Well, it has anything to do with the motion's been deferred, so.
It gives a statement about the items shipped.
That's, I think you have to say why we want to defer this or not. And I don't think.
I would prefer not to defer it for the fact that I do have an email from Sheriff Walsh that
Okay,
indicates.
that's a reason why, but reading it does not add anything to it. In fact, you have the information there. It says something. Okay, Mr. Richards.
I'm in favor of deferring. The sheriff's not here. We are hearing multiple opinions on the amendment. Only one of them can be right. And I'm guessing that this won't be the only issue that we would have with the contract if we continued with this. So I think that we need to wait a week, hear from the sheriff, and hopefully be slightly more straightened out on this.
You want like 2 weeks. Mr. James.
Well, as Shakespeare would say, this is much ado about nothing. I will agree with Diane. When I order anything online, even my license plates, I got to pay a handling fee. If it's there at the commissary and they want to do something, I just think we're beating a dead horse here, but that's fine. It's been deferred, so I'm not supporting it. And I don't read Shakespeare, for the record.
Mr. Benzel, do you guys quote from Shakespeare too?
I was going to say, I'm almost lost now that Stan James is quoting Shakespeare.
To be or not to be?
My only request was going to be that the movers of this that are asking for these changes to be made, can you make contact with the sheriff and try to work this out before the next CAL, please, so we don't beat it around for 3.5 hours there that night?
All right, thank you, Mr. Benz. Any other discussion on the motion to defer? Ms. Anderson.
I was just wondering if it's possible to make a phone call to the sheriff to find out if the contract.
The sheriff is probably busy. I don't. Yeah, I think there's involved in some activities around town. So, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right. Next item.
Item number 2, I recommend adoption of ordinance number 903 approving the recommended update to the county grant application / acceptance procedures, and I so move.
Second by Ms. Kohler. Discussion. See none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I recommend adoption of resolution number 8091 for payment of claims authorization, and I so move.
Second.
Second by Mr. James. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Recommend adoption of resolution number 8092 for purchases not following purchasing policy, and I so move.
Second by Mr. Esri. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
I recommend adoption of resolution number 8103, authorizing an intergovernmental agreement with the City of Champaign, City of Urbana, Village of Rantoul for the Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant Program, and I so move.
Second by Mr. Kurtz. Discussion. Ms. Michaels.
What was the criteria for dividing the funds out? It looks like the county got the short end of the stick here.
It's based on population, I believe.
Is it? Because there's a huge disparity between Champaign.
Further discussion. Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
It's all from finance.
Labor Committee. Mr. McGinty, go ahead.
I would recommend adoption of resolution number 8105 for the approval of the ASME General Unit Agreement from December 1 of 11 through November 30 of 2014, and I so move.
Second.
Second by Ms. Holderfield. Discussion. See none, all in favor?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 2, I recommend adoption of resolution number 8093 for the approval of Fraternal Order of Police Court Security Officers Agreement from December 1, 2010 through November 30 of 2013, and I so move.
Second.
Second by Ms. Holderfield. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
It's all from labor.
Thank you, Mr. McGinty. Other business, the Jail Space Improvement Project Planning Team was last month sometime, the County Board made a motion to add Ms. Carol Amons to the planning team. Mr. Betts said, Pius, why don't you do it? So I'm doing it. Therefore, I'm assigning Carol Amons to the Jail Space Improvement Project Planning Team effective immediately. Next item, we have something from the Sheriff. Mr. Betts, would you do this resolution for us, please?
The whole resolution read?
No, just the, just move it.
Adoption of resolution number 8104, approving the proclamation designating the week of May 13th as National Police Week, and I so move.
Second by Mr. Kurtz. Discussion? We'll add that the...
that week?
Pardon? What did he say?
We don't get tickets that week.
Mr. Betts, maybe you won't get tickets that week. I will say there will be a ceremony in front of the courthouse this week. It's on a Thursday. I believe it's May 17th. And it starts a little bit after 12 noon. And you're all welcome to attend. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, right, other business. We're going to close session, though. We're going to reverse the order, though. We're going to do the second one first. Mr. McGinty?
I move that we enter into executive session pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2C2 to consider collective negotiating matters between Champaign County and its employees or their representatives. I further move that the following individuals remain present: the county administrator and the recording secretary.
Second.
Second by Mr. Mitchell. Roll call, please.
Here.
No, we have to wait.
Here, here.
Richards?
Yes.
Rosales?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Benzo?
Yes.
Bergson?
Yes.
Betts?
Yes.
Carter?
Yes.
Cowart?
Yes.
Esri?
Yes.
Holderfield?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Kibler?
Yep.
Kurtz? Langenheim?
Yes.
Maxwell?
Yes.
McGinty?
Yes.
Michaels?
Yes.
Mitchell?
Here. Yes.
Petrie?
Yes.
Weigel?
Yes, motion carries. We're into closed session.